Good morning, everyone. David, you're up here with us. This is an important statement. Listen, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have some very, very special guests here today. Ms. Heather Boushey is here, the Chief Economist for President Biden's Investing in America Cabinet. Thank you so much for being here. Wonderful. Give her a hand, please. We have District 11 Councilwoman, our Councilwoman, Stacy Gil for the airport. Thank you so much for being here. And we have David Ulan, who is the Director of Aeronautics for the Colorado Department of Transportation. Thank you so much for being here. We're also joined by members of our congressional delegation, their staffs. We have Max Haynes from Senator Bennett's office. And you all can hold the applause. The applause is just for the folks. You know what I mean? We have Joe Wood, Outreach Director. Oh, no, we can't have that. Outreach Director for Congresswoman Diana DeGette. We have Clarice Navarro, District Director for Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. We have Sean Rusha, Constituent Advocate for Congressman Jason Crow is here as well. So thank you so much for being here. Last week we received some great news. It was really great, believe me. We received some great news that the Federal Aviation Administration will be awarding $1 billion from President Biden's bipartisan Investing in America agenda to 114 airports across the country. And we also learned that Denver International Airport will be one of those receiving a grant, specifically $26.6 million investment will allow them to fund a portion of our baggage handling system. Now, our baggage handling system, and we talked about this last week when we got the word, much of the system has been in place since the airport opened in 1995. So this is incredibly timely for us, and this will help us increase capacity and improve energy efficiency. We all know that baggage handling is a critical function of any airport, and it requires careful coordination. It's very, very critical, obviously, for Den. We are an airport that was designed for 50 million annual passengers. And last year, we ended the year at 78 million annual passengers. And we have our Vision 100, where we thought as recently as last year that we would not hit 100 million until 2032. But we're going to hit 100 million as soon as 2027. So this is very, very significant. This grant will help us. We see it as our responsibility to ensure that all of our systems are modern and robust and that each bag is screened properly. So we take this, obviously, we take this responsibility very, very seriously. We've got 7 miles of conveyors in our system. When we talk about our baggage system, we screen upwards of 2 million bags per month. But much of the system, as I said, was opened with the airport in 1995. We have been patchworking this system, this baggage system, since the airport opened. And I was sort of joking about this and saying that our baggage system is like a Frankenstein system, where we have patched it over the years. And so obviously this grant is very, very important to us. So we're grateful to the Biden-Harris administration. We're grateful to the FAA, to members of Congress for this historic infrastructure. So here to talk a little bit about the importance of this federal investment to our cities here in the region is Denver City Councilwoman Stacy Gil. Please.
much, Phil, and it's wonderful to have you here, Heather. And we're excited to talk to you a little bit more about our great city and the work that Den is doing, and so welcome and thank you. I'm happy to be here today on behalf of Mayor Mike Johnston's administration and also the residents that I represent in District 11, where the airport is located. Heather, again, we're so excited about this infrastructure investment and looking forward to this ongoing partnership with the Biden-Harris administration. And you know, Denver International Airport has done a tremendous job of elevating Denver and Colorado as a global destination. It opens the door to increased tourism and trade, and also ensures the resiliency of our community and economy. The economic impact of Denver International Airport since its opening more than 25 years ago is really staggering. In 2021 alone, the airport contributed over $36.4 billion to the state economy and supported over 220,000 jobs. Den is an incredible asset for the vibrancy of Denver and our entire state, and it's important to our future. The past year, we saw the highest number of passengers in the airport's history, as Phil mentioned here, and in 2023, with serving nearly 78 million passengers and having that 12% increase over 2022, it's clear that we need these investments, especially in our baggage system. The success of Denver International Airport is important to our local economy, but it also weighs in on the global economy as well. We know that we're the 5th busiest airport in the United States, and the 5th busiest airport in the world, and the 3rd busiest in the United States. Those are not easy numbers to get to and achieve and maintain, and so I want to congratulate all of the airport staff, TSA, FAA, and all of the Denver City and County Airport employees that do this work every day. Cities across America face significant challenges. We all know that. That's why our partnership with the federal government is so important for us to maintain and to grow that partnership. It takes all of us working collectively together to achieve this, and with this infrastructure investment, we will be on our way to moving forward with those additional infrastructure investments that we need to ensure that our economy stays strong so that we can help that inter-region economy and contribute to the global economy as well. And so it's my honor to be here today, and I believe I'll turn it back over to Phil here. And so thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Gilmore. We'd also like to share the state's perspective. We've got David Ulan, our friend here, the Director of Aeronautics for CDOT. Please.
I appreciate that, Phil. It's really kind of cool to get to be here for this event, and you know, Denver's just been such a tremendous partner of us at the state level, and we really appreciate that collaboration that we have with you. But a lot of people maybe don't even know that CDOT has a division of aeronautics. You know, there's 3,300 people that work for CDOT. There's 9 of us that don't do surface transportation, and that's our little division of aeronautics. But under the direction of the governor-appointed Colorado Aeronautical Board, our division works to support airports and aviation across the state as part of our multimodal transportation system. And as we work to carry out our mission and help fund critical airport infrastructure improvements, we work closely with our partners at the FAA, the team at DEN, and 65 other public use airports across Colorado. And all of those airports, regardless of where they are, play really important roles in their local community and to our entire state. Across Colorado, DEN's not the only airport that's really doing well. Every other airport in the state has seen tremendous success and growth in the last 2 or 3 years. Really, it's been really remarkable. And I think the bill funding has been really remarkable in supporting that growth and success, not just at DEN, but at every one of these other airports that's been a benefactor of that funding. Since 2022, other Colorado airports have been the benefactor of nearly $62 million of bill funding under both the Airport Infrastructure Grant Program and the Airport Terminal Program. Our division has been really proud to partner again with John Bauer and his team here in Denver at the FAA, our local airports, and of course Dan, to complement those federal dollars with $11 million of our state funding to really leverage all of that funding to do some tremendous things across the state. Again, that funding has been really key to helping us do some great things at the smaller airports around the state that really don't have access to the kind of capital funds that larger airports like Den have. So we have seen a number of really great improvements, including some long overdue terminal work at a lot of our smaller commercial service airport. AIG, the Airport Improvement Grant Program, Infrastructure Grant Program, $37 million to Colorado airports, including $2.6 million to the San Luis Valley Regional Airport down in Alamosa to build a new aircraft rescue and firefighting facility. Colorado Springs, our neighbors down to the south, $7.4 million to improve their baggage handling system. So apparently there's a theme here in baggage handling in the state, so we're trying to figure out. Eagle County Vail Regional Airport, $3.5 million to rehabilitate their primary taxiway and take good care of their airfield. And really importantly, notice, I don't know if anybody's been to Montrose lately, but that airport is just killing it down there. They have Southwest service now, which I never in my 35 years in the state would have imagined Southwest flying to Montrose. But all of that new service has put a lot of pressure on airports like that to do something with their terminal facilities. Montrose received $3.6 million to fund an upgrade to their terminal building, which is almost complete. It's really spectacular. From the ATP program, again, Centennial Airport under this round of funding was just awarded $8 million for a really badly needed upgrade to their aging air traffic control tower. So that was a huge, huge win for Colorado and for the general aviation community here. Colorado Springs, again, killing it. Concourse modernization. That airport is doing equally as well in terms of growth and air service and everything down there. So it's just fantastic. And finally, down in the southwest part of the state, Durango, again, another regional airline, regional air carrier airport's just doing so well, $3.2 million to rehabilitate and expand their terminal building. So, Councilwoman, you stole a little of my thunder on the economic impact, but statewide, airports and aviation support 345,000 jobs, $49 billion of annual economic output. We heard Denver's part of that, is the vast majority of that. And that impact would really not be possible without amazing collaboration between the federal, the state, and the local folks across Colorado, and we really appreciate that. Our board, I'd like to give a shout out to Denver's own Steve Lee. He's one of my bosses. He represents the community on the board. So Steve, I'm glad you're here today. Thanks for your support with that. But anyway, bill funding has had just a tremendous impact, not just in Denver, but across all of Colorado, and we really appreciate the steadfast support of our partners at the FAA, Denver, and all of the airports across Colorado. So thanks for the opportunity to be here today. Bill, I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, David. And I mentioned FAA earlier, but John Bauer is here, and he's a wonderful partner from FAA as well. So happy to have you here. So it's now my pleasure to introduce one of the nation's most influential voices on economic policy, and she's also a leading economist who focuses on the intersection between economic inequality, growth, and public policy. Please help me welcome Ms. Heather Boushey.
Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. It's just a real treat to be able to be here at the Denver International Airport, so thank you. So I just want to say a couple of words about why this is so important to the president and why it's so important to the local economy, the state economy, but also the national economy. When the president came into office, we were facing a series of economic crises. Of course, the pandemic, the recession, but the president always knew that there were these long-standing challenges that we had to address. It's why on a campaign in the first year we talked about not just building back, but building back better, so we could grow the economy from the middle out. That has always been the president's goal. And investing in infrastructure all across the country, everything from all the roads, which take up a lot of time, to all the airports, to broadband, to safe drinking water, all of these things are so important because they are the foundation of economic growth. They themselves, these investments themselves, create good jobs, create opportunity, But of course, it's the infrastructure that makes all of the other parts of our economy actually able to function. Make it possible for people to get to work, make it possible for goods to be transported efficiently, safely, in a way that doesn't cost too much and timely, right? So this is all so important for our nation's economic growth and making sure that the United States has the capacity to compete globally. It requires that we make these investments all across the country, including the investments that the president is so excited about here in Denver, the $26.6 million for this airport. So I want to spend a couple of minutes, though, talking about some of the success we've already seen, right? So the bipartisan infrastructure law, these monies are flowing out across the country, and now there are shovels in the ground on about 46,000 projects all across the country, so including this one. And that's exciting to see. And the president is also, as a part of his Investing America agenda, has been focused on crowding in the private capital that can create opportunity for new industries, for good jobs, in the kinds of sectors that are going to be important for American competitiveness for decades to come. Investing in semiconductors, investing in clean energy. That's where we need to make sure that we have that competitive edge, and to do that, we need that private capital to come in and to come in quickly. And so we've seen about $650 billion of private sector monies that are following these infrastructure investments. That's real investment in good jobs and in communities across the country. So far, this has been the strongest recovery in my professional career, almost in my lifetime. We have seen the unemployment rate below 4% nationwide for 2 years. That is a record streak going back over half a century. That is remarkable. It was not an accident. And I know here in the state of Colorado, the unemployment rate is 3.4%, right? You are benefiting from this low unemployment. We are also seeing that the gap between the state with the highest unemployment rate and the lowest unemployment rate is smaller than it's ever been in any recovery. So we are growing all across the country, creating good jobs, creating that economic opportunity. And you see the economic importance of that. People can find a job, they can find the best fit, which we know improves productivity, and we're not seeing that long-term scarring like we saw from the global financial crisis, where too many workers, families, communities languish for too long in unemployment. So all of this vitality and this growth that we're seeing here is a part of this national story. And it's also a part in the little conversations, the little time I had here before to have some conversations, one of the things we talked about is the investments that we're seeing by entrepreneurs all across the country, who are saying, wow, this is a moment of opportunity. We're seeing all of this infrastructure investment, and that means that there's opportunity for me and my communities. So 3 years of record-breaking numbers of people starting new businesses across the country, including here in the state of Colorado, 370,000 new businesses started over the last 3 years, a record going back to as long as we've been calculating that data. And some of these small businesses are going to be here in this airport. That's really important. And we've been doing all of this with an eye to creating good jobs and addressing economic equity. The president's Investing in America agenda is about investments like these that are happening all across the country to deliver better jobs, to deliver investments in cutting-edge technologies, and to make sure that we grow the economy from the middle out. And we could not be more excited that this is happening and to see the collaboration that's happening here in Denver today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heather. So we'd like to sit down now and open the Q&A part of our program. We'll take questions from the media if you have any, but we also want to hear from attendees from our airlines. We've got several airlines here as well. Den employees, we'll take softball questions from you all. And of course our federal partners as well. So we will open up the questions. I will say before we do that, that this grant takes us to about 123 million of the amount that we need for our baggage system. Is that the right amount? Yeah, about 123 million. And this is how much we've benefited from the bipartisan infrastructure law to date on the baggage handling system. And so that's very, very important to know as well. So maybe we'll open it up if that's okay. Okay, yeah. All right, let's open it up. Any questions?
Any questions?
On
Yes,
the baggage
sure.
handling system, is that a total re-overhaul? Cause I know you said it was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Or is there pieces that are already there that you can reuse, or is it totally get rid of the whole thing and upgrade it to the current standards?
There may be pieces that we can use. We took to the Denver City Council a request, probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, for $500 million to replace the baggage handling system. So, you know, once we get down there, we'll figure out what is still usable and what is not. You know, I'll say this just about infrastructure in general. We're seeing it definitely at Denver International Airport, but I think it's the same for infrastructure across the country. There's a number of things I think that are happening. I spend a lot of time, of course, on the ground transportation side, both in transit and highway, and I think the volume of activity on our infrastructure is just incredible. And the infrastructure that we have in place right now was never designed for the volume. And I'm talking bridges, I'm talking highways, I'm talking transit systems, and of course airports. It was never designed for the volume. I mentioned that this airport was designed for 50 million annual passengers. We are at 78 right now. It was never designed for that. And so to retrofit this infrastructure that we're talking about, it's a godsend when you talk about the bipartisan infrastructure law. You know, I'm one that has been in the industry for, including my military time, which I also include as sort of infrastructure logistics related for the last 45 years. And I have never seen an investment in infrastructure to this magnitude in my lifetime in my working career. And so, you know, Heather mentioned the private sector injection. That is very, very important as well. And so I think people around the country are understanding that we must invest in our infrastructure in this country if we are to make sure that people get around safely and efficiently. It's a long answer. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much for being here. We want to thank Heather again for flying out here to be with us. Councilwoman Gilmore, who is a great supporter of ours. David Ulan, who is a great partner at the federal level. John Bauer with FAA as well, and all of our airline partners. Thank you so much for being here.